welcome back, and we're going to be putting in the middle lip line, and I'm going to need my glasses for that to make sure that I get this in correctly. And we're going to switch to a number 2 round sable, and I'm going to mix up some alizarin crimson and French ultramarine, and I'm going to be mixing this toward the red side. Because it is the mouth, we want it to be predominantly cool and red. So I'm going to be using a stronger shadow on the outside corners of the mouth. And so I'm applying it to the corners and taking it in a little ways. And then I'm going to soften this, and this is a very dry wash, so it's not going to move much. So once you put it down, it's when you go back to soften it, it doesn't really move much, which is what you want. And then we're going to go into the middle lip line, and I'm looking for sections that are thicker. And I'm just kind of missing some sections, and then I'll take my brush and I'll soften the edge here, so you can see the middle lip line is not as strong as the corners of the mouth. And then there's another area that I can also darken. We used a crevice flesh down here earlier, and then it will receive this crevice dark or shadow over it, just like the middle lip line. I want to add more color where the middle lip line is underneath it. Want a little more yellow, Windsor yellow, and a little more opera rose mixed with some Quin red. And this area is very rich in color, and it's very strong. So we're going to get that in, and then we'll soften that. Soften the bottom side of it, and then we're going to add a little more to the lower edge of the bottom lip, Windsor yellow, and then we'll put the Quin red and opera rose over that. And we're just going to pull it all the way across the bottom lip to the other side. And we're still keeping this very soft edged. Lips are very soft, and you don't want to do anything that's going to be give a hard edge. And then we're going to add in some color to the top lip. It's looking a little pale in comparison to the bottom lip. So we'll use the Windsor yellow and opera rose Quin red on the top lip as well. And then we'll just soften that. And I can see in the middle of the lip that it has some nice lines here that we want to kind of emulate with a little bit of the yellow and red. So we're going to put those in. And then there's also, let's soften those. There's also another section that rounds out here that needs to have more color. Windsor yellow, opera rose, and Quin red again. And there's a good amount of color that's up under the middle lip line on the edges as well. Now I want to go with the cobalt violet light, and I'm going to add a little bit of alizarin crimson into it, and I want to go into the top lip, and I want to go right over the color that I just laid down and this will help shape the top lips. And then we're going to use that same color on the bottom lips, on the edge, and we're just going to lay it down, and where this turns, we're going to come up into that, and then we'll soften that, soften our lines there, because there's some coolness that causes this area to recede. And then we're going to stop and dry this, and we're going to add more flesh color around the middle lip line on the outer corners of the mouth, and try to finish this up. So we'll stop here and dry it and come right back. All right, we're back, and we're going to switch to a number 4 round sable, and we're going to lay in the skin tone colors on the corners of the mouth, and a little more color in and around the mouth with the Windsor yellow and opera rose Quin red combination. And we're still layering the red on top of the yellow and allowing them to blend on their own, and not really over mixing them, and then softening our edges. We're going to go up above the mouth and add a little more color here, and just laying the yellow down and the red on top, and also to kind of add a little more color on the top of the lip as well. There's some blue here that I see that I want to pick up some of my cobalt violet light and put it on the corner of the mouth above the lip. And I can see that this is lifting the dark color that I put on the corner of the mouth over here, so I'll have to reestablish that. But while we're waiting on this to dry, I'm going to go in and I'm going to add with the cobalt violet light and the alizarin crimson, I'm going to add in, there's a little shadow that is cast on this bottom lip right below the middle lip line, and I'm just going to get that little shadow in by putting in a line. And then I'm going to look for places that I can strengthen up the purple, like this bottom lip line here. And you can kind of bring it on across. I like to kind of point it in with my brush, and still using the alizarin crimson and cobalt violet light. And then I'm just going to soften my edges and lift a little here. It's not quite that dark, so I'm just using my brush to kind of lift that. And you have some darks and lights that are found in the lips, some lost and found edges. And there's a little protrusion here right in the center of the lip, so it's darker. So I'm going to use my purple to bring that out, and this will really shape the lip and give it some form. I'm leaving the center lighter, and I'm also softening the edge on top of the lip. And I'm going to look for any other areas that I can drop in this purpley blue mixture of cobalt blue and cobalt violet. I like to add in blue in my portraits where I can. I think it really gives some life to them and gives it a nice touch. So I just need to stop and dry this area so that I can reestablish the corners of the mouth again. And so we'll stop and break here, and then we'll come back and finish it up.